So, on this occasion, I will discuss a film from an Indonesian film entitled Kid Break. This film also tell about real life, and this film tell about an affair that tells the story of the household of Aris, played by Reza, Rahardian, and Kinan, played by Putri Marino. The marriage of this husband and wife initially went harmoniously and heavily, but of them had a daughter named Raya, and they were both waiting for the birth of their second child. But suddenly, Aris' attitude slowly began to change. Not only that, he was also busy with all his affairs outside the home. Aris also rarely started talking to Kinan and tell about his daily life at the office. That why Kinan started to suspect Aris' behavior. Starting with the showing of a husband and wife named Aris and Kinan. Now both of them are carrying out the process of the 7-monthly pregnancy program of Kinan. There also Kinan friend come to the event. Then at that moment Aris come to introduce his best friend to Kinan. There it turns out that Aris' friend already knows that Kinan's best friend named Andre is someone who was close to Kinan, but even that Aris never cared about him like that. Also come Aris' business friend named Miranda and asked her to meet with Kinan. Then Kinan introduced his friend, Dina and Lola. There, after the event was over, Aris and Kinan were brought together and said about their respective wishes. Then Kinan had a dream to ride a hot air balloon. Because when he was little, he had asked his father and mother to take a hot air balloon ride, but that had not materialized because his parents were very afraid to ride a hot air balloon. And because of that, he is still curious to ride a hot air balloon to this day. Hearing this, Aris will make Kinan's dream come true one day. On the next day, Aris and Raya were still preparing to do their usual activities. Then, at that time, Complex mother came. Her name was Mr. Mary, and as usual, the purpose of their arrival was just to gossip with Kinan. Then long story short, Kinan has met with Beta and Lola in a place that looked like a coffee shop. There at that time, Kinan saw that Lola didn't seem to want to eat carelessly because she started to maintain a diet because her body was already fat. Lola herself is a woman who loves to meet men through a social media application, and because of that she also decided to maintain a diet so that her body looks ideal. Later that night, Aris came home from work and saw Kinan sleeping in the living room waiting for his arrival. When he woke up, the The two of them went into the room after entering Kenan's rooms. He saw that the buttons on his husband's shirt were not neat, and Aris said that he was not aware that the button on his shirt came from the office. Then he also said that after exercising and wearing a shirt, he was on a call from a client because it made Aris rush to put on his shirt and made the button warm. Aris then asked Kenan for permission if he was going to talk with his friend, and Kenan allowed him on the condition that he had to be careful. In the morning, Aris started to go to the place where his friends were waiting at the coffee shop. While inside, Aris got news from someone, and it turned out that he had to now go on a tour with his friend because he was going back to the office because there was a client waiting for him at the office there. Hearing this, two of his friends were disappointed with Aris' attitude, who suddenly canceled the event. At that moment, it turned out that Aris was going back to the office, but she met a woman in the car with another woman, not with his wife, and they both left. In the evening, after arriving at Aris' house and when she was at home, Kenan was already waiting for her there. Kenan also asked about her touring with her friends. Aris said that it was because two of his friends didn't go on the tour because his friend motorbike broke down, and because of that, Aris also reasoned that didn't know about it because he was far from them. Then in the morning, activities were still normal, but this time Kenan went with the two of the two school. While on the way, Aris didn't focus on driving because he was still busy with his phone. Kenan was disturbed by this. Kenan ordered Aris to immediately go over and finish his business. But at the time at school, it turned out that Aris and Kenan children were in the same school as Miranda's son, Brandon. That at that time, Aris met Miranda with her children from distance and saw the closeness of Aris with Miranda. There Kenan saw a small strawberry from the stair, and because Kenan was a doctor, he immediately helped and took the child to the nearest hospital. Arriving at the hospital, Andre would turn out to be a doctor with the same as Kenan. Kenan remembered about his past when he met Aris for the first time. After that, Andre came out saying that the child's condition had improved and suggested that he refer to a surgeon. Then Kenan and Andre were alone at the time. Suddenly, Aris sent to meet them. So from the next A1 episode, I'll add some stories and scripts that I got from this episode. This story is based on a true story before it became a web series. Kidbury is a story of an affair written through the social media of their author Mommy Art, which was later turned into a novel. No, the novel has been turned into a web series. The meaning of a broken cake. Apparently, Mommy has interpreted a broken cake as something that has no direction, just like her relationship with her ex-husband after the affair that happened. This film is similar to the work of The Marriage because his was mostly a real story about a husband and wife relationship. The gist I got from this story were of a woman who likes to use social media application to find partners. I think the application is not safe to find a partner because you cannot see directly how a person character and background about that person. In addition, a wife who is currently pregnant who has the hurt to be cheated on with her husband, make her mentally prepare and tries to find out her as she answers the commission that of into the meeting with the criminal court are regulated with Article 284 which states a maximum sentence of 9 years in prison.